It feels like every tool you use wants another $20 a month for its new AI features. Between your code editor, your writing assistant, and your image generator, you're easily staring at a $100 monthly tax just to keep your workflow modern. But the open source community and fierce freemium battles have shifted the landscape. You can actually access enterprise-grade models right now without spending a dime. These free tiers aren't charity. When you aren't paying with your wallet, you're paying with your data privacy, your compute priority, or your commercial rights. This chart maps the AI market. X-axis is financial cost, Y-axis is operational capability. Premium tools populate the top right, expensive but capable. New free tools drop into the zero-cost, high-capability zone. Operating here means navigating severe hidden trade-offs. To actually survive in that zone, you have to build profession-specific $0 stacks. This means aggressively curating your tools, so their specific limitations don't clash with your deadlines. Successful free AI adoption relies on finding a tool whose structural flaws happen to align with your specific daily operations. If your job revolves around research, your core requirement is extracting precise syntheses from massive documents. You cannot afford a single hallucinated fact. You might be tempted to drop a 50-page PDF into the free version of ChatGPT or Claude, but doing that with proprietary company data is a massive operational risk. This table outlines the privacy strategies of current tools. For generic LLMs on a free tier, the default policy is that your inputs are used to train future models. A sensitive internal memo you upload today could theoretically be regurgitated to a competitor tomorrow. To protect your data, you need localized alternatives like NotebookLM or Humata. These tools anchor their answers strictly to the documents you upload, providing safe, grounded output that prevents leaks and hallucinations. Operating in that secure, closed ecosystem means you lose access to live web browsing. You can't cross-reference your PDF against today's news in the same query. Eventually, you will need to validate your internal findings against broader scientific or academic consensus. For that, Consensus is currently the best free tool available. It allows you to search and verify claims across over 200 million peer-reviewed academic papers. This chart shows their consensus meter, which instantly visualizes how many papers agree or disagree on a specific topic. It's a powerful feature, but free users hit a hard monthly cap on these visuals very quickly. As a researcher, your $0 stack requires a clear trade. You have to willingly sacrifice unlimited query volume and live web integrations to guarantee your data stays private and your facts stay accurate. For developers, the primary goal is speed. You want to eliminate environment setup friction and generate complex code architecture as fast as possible. Modern free coding assistance has moved into agentic IDs like Google Anti-Gravity and Cursor. These autonomous agents actively plan your project, write the syntax, run the terminal to install packages, and test the code across multiple files simultaneously. Giving an AI that much autonomy requires massive processing power, which brings us to the biggest friction point for free coding tools: severe throttling on compute requests. This chart tracks request speed against network traffic. When a new model launches or server traffic peaks, the free tier performance plummets. You will be instantly downgraded to slower models or locked out of your editor completely, while paid users keep working. If you're specifically prototyping data analysis and want to avoid local environment headaches, Data Lab is a zero-setup alternative that runs entirely in your browser. However, it also enforces strict usage limits. The free tier hits a hard cap at 3 total workbooks and limits how many times you can interact with the AI assistant. These free developer tools provide a solid foundation for students learning syntax or founders prototyping a weekend concept. But if you're a professional facing strict enterprise deployment deadlines, relying on a throttled free tier is too risky. If you are a creator or designer, your workflow demands high-quality vectors, sharp images, and clean video B-rolls for your productions. For static assets, Recraft AI is currently unmatched. It's the only free tool that generates infinitely scalable, brand-compliant SVG vectors. This matrix maps creator tools against their commercial rights. Notice where Recraft sets. The free tier is strictly quarantined in the non-commercial zone, meaning you cannot legally use these assets for client deliverables. The same friction exists with video. Tools like Gemini VO 3.1 and InVideo AI offer text-to-video capabilities, but they fall into this yellow compromised output zone. The mandatory trade-off for rendering free video is a permanent visible watermark stamped right across your footage, alongside invisible tracking metadata. It disqualifies the clip from any professional presentation. There is a rare exception for visual assets. Leonardo.ai actually grants you full commercial rights on its free tier, but their biggest hidden cost is exposure. Every prompt you write and every image you generate is public by default. If you work at an agency developing stealth mode brand concepts or proprietary product designs, you cannot use a platform that broadcasts your iterations to the community feed. As a creator, building a $0 stack means picking your poison. You have to decide if your project can survive illegal commercial use restrictions, unpolished watermarks, or the public exposure of your intellectual property. Looking across all these disciplines, a clear theme emerges. The viability of your $0 AI stack has nothing to do with how smart the models are. It relies entirely on your own operational flexibility. This scorecard acts as a viability test for free AI. Before you commit to a free tool, you have to check these 3 boxes. Is your data non-sensitive? Is your delivery timeline flexible? And is your use case strictly non-commercial? Even if you check those boxes, you still have to accept the invisible labor cost. On a free stack, you act as your own systems integrator, constantly juggling usage caps and migrating between platforms the second you get throttled. If you are a student, a solo learner, or building low-stakes internal prototypes, you pass this test easily. You have the agility to thrive here. But if you are an agency professional delivering monetized assets, a developer on a strict launch timeline, or an analyst handling corporate financial data, you fail the test. Free tiers will ultimately break your workflow. If your work involves strict deadlines, client money, or proprietary data, stop trying to hack together a free solution. That $20 monthly subscription is no longer a luxury.